Alright, new best of 3, TvZ in the bottom left. As the blue Terran, he is Epic. In the top right, as the red Zerg, it is JonSnow. JobSnow is what we call him now, as he graduated college, I think, like a year ago, and has been on the job search grind / actually working grind, but finds certainly a decent amount of time to play Starcraft, so still a bit of the gatekeeper of NA. Epic, one of the Terrans that has promised for a while now, who I still think has promise, but kind of the same deal as many other North Americans. Like, if they can make it into their own region's tournament, their own region's main event, like, I guess that's okay. But no one, I mean, honestly, no one really seems to care that much unless they're making top 6 at least, if not actually beating one of the top 4 players. Or in this case, top 6, including Namchar and TLO. So, it's a tough life, man. But it's kind of the honest truth. That doesn't mean that they're not good. It's just that the levels of good that exists amongst StarCraft is kind of crazy. Rainer plays 18 hours a day, mentioned on a laser stream. Now, I don't watch either one of these guys, Bjorn or Rainer, play. I'm not, like, behind them when they play and keeping track of their hours. But I feel like I can almost guarantee that Bjorn is more insane with his practice hours. I think Rainer definitely seems like a guy you could enjoy doing the crazy, stupid, long practice sessions, but I don't think he does it all the time. Bjorn, I feel like actually just, you know, at many points in his career, just like literally had no life and just played StarCraft. Which, you know, was made it even a better Cinderella story. It wasn't necessarily this guy came from nowhere. This guy actually started off by being severely overshadowed by so many other people in StarCraft back in the beginning, back on Prime. And it felt like one of those guys that just would always be a little bit promising, but never really do very much. And then suddenly he just finally had something happen where it was a beautiful year. Anyways, so JonSnow, as I said, kind of still the gatekeeper of NA. Many people would consider him, at one point, they would consider him as nipping at the heels of the big 3. Now it's kind of the big 4, and then we also have to include the Europeans who have come over. Never quite, you know, again, Australia is kind of that outlier, the guy who's really special right now. The guy who actually started to kind of do well. Okay, I see you, and then suddenly just, like, fucking, like, leapt over this humongous gap. JonSnow never quite did that, but he was always good enough to be a contender. Always good enough to be scary to play against. Now when he's playing his job, because that's what you do at jobs, right? You just play, right? You know, I don't know. I don't know if he actually has enough time to study and practice, or if he's kind of going off on autopilot. Whereas I think Epic might be actually putting in some work, some like, okay, I need to get better in this match, let's study this XYZ. So I got high hopes for Epic here. I want to say that he might just win. I want to say that, but I don't know for certain. JonSnow did qualify for last season's events, where I believe Epic, I think didn't. Or did he? I think he did, actually. Shoot. There was a couple players that I was like, oh, they definitely could have gotten in. There was actually a little bit of drama, a little bit of controversy. Little bit. Because some of the seating issues happened, and they were like, well, this person probably should have gotten it over that person, but for how bad seating can be, I actually thought it was actually okay. Anyways, I'll check that in a second. So I am a little curious if these Hellions are actually going to dive. Nah, they're good. Bio following up the Banshee, and JonSnow just going into a, well, 4-minute lair. But pretty nicely timed lair with a nicely timed Baneling nest. Didn't need anything too fast. His Overlord just now getting the full scout, but he did see that 3rd CC get blocked down. So he's had some good enough intel. Alright, so Epic was one of those guys that didn't get in, but I felt like he should have. In fact, I think it's all coming back to me now. I think Epic was the guy that I cast every single qualifier. I got at least one cast, if not, like, cast him in literally every single one. And I think, like, twice he got to an elimination match, and then he couldn't play the third one, or something like that. Which was really disappointing, because I think he would have made it through the third one. That's, unless I'm misremembering him, I'm confusing him with someone else. I think that's his story. So I really feel like he's going to qualify this season. Especially if he can play every single day, every single qualifier. But currently his run, I mean, if he does beat JonSnow handedly, who would he face after? Vindicta or Rob? I think he can do it for sure. Him versus Vindicta is actually a bit of the story as well last time. Anyways, so far it's a decent enough game. Losing 2 banshees like that is not ideal. And then, oh no, he didn't. He never started that +1 armor. I noticed it and I was like, it's only 15 seconds off. He just missed his armor timing. Didn't have enough gas when he pressed it. Oh, that is painful. Some banelings go off on the Hellions, which is actually preferable, as Epic comes in here with Marines. I'm actually I think maybe JonSnow could have, yeah, I was like, wait, why did JonSnow run away? It was a decent number of queens. And even if Epic had combat shields and won one timed out with those Marines, I still think that, you know, because they come out of the medevac so slow. Yeah, you take that fight, so. A little funny there, but Epic does want to use these drops to just control. So even though they aren't doing very much, the fact that he didn't over-dedicate and he didn't lose them is far better than maybe, you know, getting a couple queens but losing everything. Spire's on the way for JonSnow, no surprise there. Epic just getting into 3rd CC production. 2nd factory should be coming down at some point. Unless he's going to go for an 8 racks. But, I already know the 4. Yeah, okay, there's a 4 CC. 4 CC armor on the way. Really sucks about that armor, though. We realized it like 20 seconds ago. You know, because he would have had that upgrade lead. 20 seconds for 2-2, and then the even a little bit more on 3-3 than we usually expect. Oh well. Banelings in a pretty perfect number, honestly, to take care of this. Pick up not just Marines, but also Hellbats. Marines off the left side going to be shaken off by a couple of Queens with a lot of transfuse energy. Medevac almost killed, but Gucci, but it's alright, alright. Queen's good focus fire. Good focus fire. The Queen had one job. JonSnow, putting all of his units on the job. And this harassment stage has not done as much as Epic was hoping for. Again, it was never meant to like kill JonSnow or really attack and dig into a 4th base. But it hasn't really stalled out the creep that much. It hasn't found any of the creep queens, which I think is awfully often enough the thing you get that makes you go like, okay, I'll take that, is when you kill the creep queens. And that hasn't happened yet. Because every time you kill 5 creep tumors, you're like, yeah, you know those queens are gonna come back. And it's like, look at that shit. Look at it. It's so stupid. So broken. Epic is finally following up with an actual push, though, so enough about this running around doing the drops. JonSnow, are you prepared? Maybe yes. Widowmine's Burrow gonna get some shots off. And they went crazy, but that was only a portion of JonSnow's fight. Epic was not prepared. He thought he caught JonSnow off guard. Either positionally or not enough banelings, the mutas weren't there, and actually JonSnow was more than ready to fight. He's been at a decent drone count for a while, not taking any economic damage from the drops and not taking much creep spread damage from the drops. So Epic even accidentally went on creep with that engagement. So not what he was looking for. And it might have been his 2-2 timing. He was pushed back so quickly it wasn't. And yeah, his armor was late. So it was never been a 2-2 timing. Still has another decent push before we get into really scary late-game TvZ territory, the type of TvZ that feels overwhelming, but it is headed that direction. He's going to have to get a pretty sick maxed-out engagement, a maxed-out push, where I don't even think he'll have 3-3, as he also is not starting +3 too quickly. So, talking about a maxed-out push against someone who's barely not on Ultras, that's Epic's next chance, I want to say. really hope he gets that 3-3. He's made a pretty big mistake, I would say. Got somebody cleaned up. So we got the 4th base very fast. And got the Rich Vespian Geyser fantastic. Yeah, the 5th base pretty fast, actually. And Everdream's pretty nice for these 5 bases. But while that's nice, he never added on gases. And that works for a while. But as you head into 4 Marauders at a time, with Medivacs, with Thors, and Widow Mines, you actually need almost all your gases. Not all of them, but like, I think you would need the extra 2. The lack of 3-3 is really killing me here. It's almost making him into an all-in situation when it really shouldn't be. This is supposed to be Terran's time to shine. That little, like, if there is a bit of a tug of war until 3-3, suddenly 3-3 puts it back into the Terran's favor, and then the Zerg barely buys enough time with Muted to go into Ultras. You know, the classic TvZ setup. But without 3-3, does he actually really have timing? Epic's army doing okay here. Not terrible, even as he gets overwhelmed. When you check out the supply, it's not that bad. And he does need to run back to his reinforcements and have enough Marines to actually combat the Mutants. It's always a little bit scary when you realize, oh my god, my army's nothing but Marauders. Ugh. That could have been so much better, though. And so I was like, it's not the worst, but yeah, it wasn't what he wanted again. The creep spread almost like is being thrown in his face at this point. He sees it with the Widow Mines, which, by the way, JonSnow does not see. So that is the good news. Lots of Widow Mines ended up surviving. If Epic had a follow-up push, now would be the time to go forward. Marauder slow. Team research could have helped out in the last engagement, maybe. Thor trying its best to stall out these Mutants from doing more damage. Not that many SCVs have gone down in this game. Only 5. Finally digging into the creep tumor queens too. 2 of them have gone down. Widow Mines are cleaned up for the most part before the second round can come in here, but it's pretty important that they weren't. He's producing 3 Widow Mines at a time. He saved about 3 of them there. I mean, as he pushes and as he rally pushes, please scan again. Oh my god. Yeah, he's gonna have a lot of Widow Mines. That's a depth of Widow Mines, that's for sure. And this army is, at this point, it's just really chonky, man. It's just chonky, epic. He is getting a little bit cleaned up, but JonSnow is struggling. Even on 82 workers, he does not have that much of a bank. He's gonna magic box over the Thors, gonna hit by a Widow Mine, a couple of Marines helping out as well. The micro on the Thor is to help out too, and he's gonna save that second one. And JonSnow, he just can't make enough units right now. Where did his bank go? Where did his economy go? I guess he never really got an amazing one like I thought he did. The drone count looks amazing, but the actual base count doesn't look that great. Finally, he cleans up the Thor and is going to get a couple of medevacs as well, but he's lost a lot of creep spread, and he just can't afford to remax. Not even close. Epic, I mean, he's working with fumes right now. It's actually not that scary of a Terran army, but in these situations, when the units are in small numbers, it actually does feel better to be a Terran player. The Lings can't quite get a surround on your army. The mutant numbers have been chopped down a little bit. They can't quite one-shot those Marauders. Suddenly 10 Marines tackle the mutant. You know what I'm saying? Like, it actually feels kind of good for the Terran player, but JonSnow, he's supposed to be in a position where he could just be like, oh, okay, 150 supply is temporary. I'm about to max out. You get the fuck out of here. And, well, he actually is struggling to do so. But Epic does take a chill pill. He has probably been in a lot of situations in the past that I'm describing where he's like, well, I think I'm doing it. I think my opponent does not have enough. You know, they're missing their injects. They don't have, oh, nope, they're just kidding. All right, there it is. There's the army of KGG. I'm certain he's been in those situations before, so even though it looks promising with the 20 army supply lead, what really sucks about all of this is that 3-3 in those exact situations I was talking about, those small unit situations, would have been amazing. But instead, it's only just finishing. So JonSnow gets some much-needed breathing room, but he needs to not just get maxed out and maybe add on some, corruptors here instead of those mutas, but he also needs to replace his creep spread, which is proving very difficult since his creep spreading queens did die. And a lot of the creep tumors that died were also the active ones. So that's his main problem right now. Instead of the situation where the Zerg is on 8 bases with creep spread to the middle of the map, it is now Epic on going up to 8 or 9 command centers and looking to encompass the map. Not what you usually see. Oh, I thought that Widow Mine was going to brutalize all of these units. Lucky Epic gets a good Widow Mine shot. This is a very large drop from the north. Gets another creep spreading queen. No army whatsoever there. JonSnow was entirely bamboozled, thought the entire army was to the south. Forgot about the north, has no sight up to the north, no overlords, no creep spread, and gets a hatchery, quickly killed. Not enough units to really help out as well. Usually they would be able to help out, but oh no. The entire drop unloads, and the ground army has to come and save the day. Okay, well, they do save the day. They kill every last bit of the ground there. Only the medevac is able to fly away. Ultra is going to help clean out an attack on the 5th or 4th, whatever it was. Good job, Ultra. Good job, Ultra. While JonSnow did lose that base, he had this one at least mining. If this wasn't mining, he'd be like on literally one base mining. So, pretty important. He has a lot of overseers, but struggles a little bit sometimes to clean up widow mines. Looks like he does clean all of those up. And Epic, he's he's in danger of getting a little too fancy, I would say. Ooh, a good fungal. I think Epic's surprised to see that come out. JonSnow even investing into patching lands. You know, late game TvZ, it's like, yeah, we would see that, but also because the Zerg player feels pretty confident. I'd say JonSnow is still in the back foot. When Epic does an actual move out with an entire army, his army is very scary. But it's important to note that's not really his whole army up there. He's got lots of little squadrons every which way, and he's actually, again, the one that's encompassing the map, encompassing the game. Epic is the one on 89 workers, where he should probably be more like 70. His armor supply is not big enough. Oh, that was a really bad fight there. His armor supply isn't big enough to, I think, actually continue doing this, first of all, and continuing to be scary. It's getting cleaned up a little, you know, easier every time. It's also not an army supply that when he does do one big push, that is actually as... Oh my god! No, what a one-shot! Look at the blood! Look at the carcasses! That it's actually that scary. Because usually we talk about these big pushes, the Zerg players finally get up some ground, the Terran players move in, they got 3-3, they got the perfect army, and they're also at 20-30 supply above their opponent. Not so in this game. So keep that in mind. A bit of a different late-game TvZ. Going back to some of our... I guess, previous metas too, where we actually have ghosts on the way. Feels like it's been forever since I've seen ghosts. Late game TvZ seems to be pretty rare, and when it does happen, it's on Eternal Empire, and the Zerg player, like, either wins because the mutas grow out of control, or in the economy grows out of control, you know, those two things. Or the Terran player wins with, like, that 2-2 push. Or maybe like a last dive on the 3-3. You know, and it feels like it's been a while since it's gone past those pushes into the potential of Liberators, into the potential of Ghosts. But it's something we've seen before. It can be tricky. You're a very positionally based unit. When you add on those Liberators, you add on those Ghosts. Ghosts, they're not slow, but they're not as quick as Sim's army. And of course, their steady shot relies on not being attacked. And funnily enough, JonSnow already has Infestors to interrupt the steady shot. With this drop on the main base, might be finding some serious damage. Not going to target fire down the high, but instead the Ultra, the Queen's coming through here for the transfuses. The transfuses! JonSnow with the transfuses! But the concave is equally as good for Epic, and the transfuses have run out. There are a couple of them could be used on the hive, but what else is even responding right now? JonSnow did not think the hive was going to go down. He thought the Ultra was going to cut it. The hive goes down. So no more Vipers for him. He does already have the Ultra's Cavern, and he already has a Greater Spire, but he needs to rebuild something up here to actually stop them from bleeding out. This is continuing to do way too much damage. He's been pulled apart a little bit, as he also cannot clean up this crew down here. I think he's setting up a bit of a surround, however. And he's finally going to go for it. He's going to go for it. Corruptor's on the right side. Liberator's not really helping at all here. EMPs to help take care of the Infestors, but what about the rest of the army? The Ultras just chomping through, doing some good work. As the Liberators, as I said, didn't really do a whole lot, mostly died. But a contingency reinforcement group comes through and starts sniping those Ultras. Once the Lings are gone, once the Fungals aren't there, Ultras get pretty easy to snipe. Main base was finally cleared up by the looks of just a single Ultra. But I hope he remembers to save those really expensive, really important tier 3 structures up there. 2 Ultras also killed the top left base, which is noteworthy, and they could deny this base as well. If they don't, a handful of Lings will. JonSnow has gotten a 3-3 and a Drill Lens, so his Ling run bys are some serious shit. But you know what he hasn't gotten to? He never got Ultra Speed. I'm afraid he's forgotten about it. This is a really clumsy fight. I don't know if JonSnow's prepared as you think he is, or maybe Epic's not the one who's prepared. Where is JonSnow's army? He has 122 army, but I don't know where it is. Maybe it's a mostly Corruptors. What is going on? So many infestors as well. It's way too many infestors. I think he thought he lost infestors and then replaced them. But he just needs an actual army. Where the hell is it? How is it 120 army supply? A couple more ultras coming from the north side, but what? I feel like I am being bamboozled by the overlay. A scan reveals this base has been mining for some time. A snipe goes down to injure one of those ultras. The corruptors are pushed away, but still healthy. No medevacs, no liberators, and they both kind of come off of that at a pretty steady supply. I was consistently looking at JonSnow's army supply, and it never really seemed to dip as much as I thought it would. But you know what? Right base did die, and that is a pretty important base for JonSnow. This base has been mining for a very long time. He's never even tried to get to this base. Drones now going down to Liberator Harassment, which is going to get nasty since Advanced Ballistics is finishing up. It's going to get even more complicated to defend against. Corruptor's peeing on a building. A good lift away from Epic, and the Savior drop going to try and clean up Corruptors. Nicely done. Corruptor for a medevac, actually favorable for the Terran. Ling run by is going to be a little more rewarding, I think, for the top left. No medevac still. The fungals are actually funny. They're kind of scary when there's no medevacs, funnily enough. Epic has been stimming so much for being on the front line so much, but he noticed the lack of medevacs. He's made up to 6 more. That's a pretty good number. 6 is, I think, the bare minimum with this type of army. And then 4 is like, okay, you're kind of pushing it. He is also getting Vikings as he witnessed the Brood Lords. Oh no, the unit's already weak from all those sims I was talking about. Got bopped by just a handful of Banelings despite being Marauders. This is a slugfest. JonSnow has gotten his middle right base back up and running, but he's down to 58 drones. He now has a superior army supply, but I'm still going to say I don't know where it is. I don't know how it is. Where? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. Ultra dies to the one of mine. That's always unfortunate. This base is definitely going to die alongside a lot of SCVs. Going to even them up in the economy a little bit. But Epic takes down a very important bottom right base. So I'd say that he still has the advantage. He has so many orbitals he could replace the top left base with. But Ling run-bys should be very potent. The bottom right side actually goes well for JonSnow. The fungal is really coming in hot here. I still think it's too many infestors, but he has been using fungals very well. At least they've been working out for him, you know? Upper left base didn't even get killed, it just got lifted. No corruptors were with him. JonSnow realizing he's at a little too few drones. Needs to replace at least 10 of them, I would say. And even then, that doesn't feel good. He knows he has to take really, really good engagements. He no longer can depend on being a Zerg and having a superior economy. This is not the engagement, I don't think, anyways. Fungals come down, but Epic has a lot of room to maneuver. Ultra is pretty much left alone after the fungals are gone. A big old concave from Epic to try and save the day. The ghosts don't really get a whole lot of steady shots, but the infestors are out of juice. It's only Ultras right now, and they have to go up against a lot more bio, as well as a planetary. Bio coming through, trying to catch those festers. Don't quite do so, but there's not much left over here from JonSnow. Not really any Broodlords to speak of, so the Vikings weren't even truly necessary. They do help clean up the last one, and those last 2 Ultras look like they're on death's door. One of them is about to get popped. Epic should be feeling very confident to move in here. He has had the consistent economy despite having the top left base denied. He's had the bottom right bases. He has so many mules every time he gets a base set up and running, and JonSnow has been bleeding out just a little bit too much. The final battle is about to come in here. JonSnow had half the army supply, running into a concave with very few lings, very few fungals. That is going to be it. Epic just played a really amazing late game. I guess some people will say that JonSnow should have died earlier. And I'll just say that Epic played a really cool late game, and JonSnow played a very scrappy late game. GG. Well done, well done. Well TvZ'd. I want to go turn on the air conditioning, but I don't want to miss the invite. We already have a qualifying match ready to go. I'm not gonna hop into it, but told you these tournaments are short. Be right back. Alright. Already into it. Ice and Chrome in the top right as the red Terran. And he is Epic, top 1. And in the bottom left is the blue Zerg. He is JonSnow. Legends say Zerg had full supply with no army. I can't believe what 120 army looked like for JonSnow. I guess saying it out loud, let's say 6 Ultras, 8 Infestors, 10 Corruptors, 20 Lings, 30 Lings. 6 Ultras do take up a lot of supply. And the Infestors as support units, I don't really consider them, but they also are taking up some of that army supply. It just looks weird. How many hours a day does it take to get caster muscle memory? I don't know. Has anyone ever quantified that? Has anyone ever done a study? I don't think so. Alright, Ice and Chrome could give us another very long macro game. I don't know if Epic is fond of mech, but Ice and Chrome is one of the designated mech maps. If you're gonna do mech, this is the map to do it on. Epic going for an SCV scout. JonSnow has been throwing out some cheeses in these brackets, in these tournaments, so safe call. Safe call. JonSnow made 6 lings. Didn't lose a single one, but still made 6 lings. You know, I've been playing Anno 1800 a lot. I finally like kind of got the hang of it after pretty much just giving up every time I like lose money. Because I've been playing the Anno series since I was a kid, you know, back on like the family computer, which, you know, I just realized is like not even going to be a concept for a lot of people in the future. I think already I was like one of the last generations that really had a family computer. Nowadays, even if you're not necessarily well off, it's kind of it's expected. Like, kind of like everyone has a phone. They have a crappy phone, but everyone has a phone. Like, I just feel like people don't talk about family computers anymore. Anyways, kind of like how once upon a time there was a family TV. You had one TV, and now, you know, every room has a TV. Anyways, I was playing the Anno series from then, but I was never very good at it, and I finally got the hang of it. But anyways, I brought it up because I realized I was unintentionally using the directional keys to pan, which I have never done, except in Anno, it's the default pan button. So I don't know if that's helping me or hurting me. Usually my fingers are on the keys for like production and units and stuff, but yeah. Why not? It's probably better. Has a very fast fire. JonSnow intentionally choosing a fast fire build. Layer was formed when the third hatchery was put down, really. Epic's going to be going for, once again, the Hellion Banshee opener. A very safe opener. I would say that it does kind of suck against the faster mutas, not because anything severe, but just because the Banshees could have been just a single Viking or a single Liberator and then swapped off for something better. To a faster reactor, to hop onto a barracks that is. Literally faster barracks you're not affording to those Banshees and Cloak as well. Anyways, I don't think it's a humongous deal, but theoretically the mutas should help to make the Banshees do absolutely no damage. Not that Banshees ever really do a lot. And Epic should feel a little scared for the first minute or so. Should be a little concerned about the mutas. Their numbers won't be very high, but neither will his Marine count. Now, with the later, it wasn't that much later of a third hatch, and he really hasn't gotten any more scouting done, so it would be a little difficult for him to see the faster mutas off of 3 bases. Yeah, I really don't know if he's figured that out, clued into the third hatch timing. Complete. I mean, the only other thing he's seeing is a Bailey Nest, which just means that it's not like roaches and a Nidus Worm. But is he prepared for the mutas? Well, now he is. Banshees come in, find the exact same damage they did last game, pretty sure. Get destroyed by the mutas. Hellions dip into the third, decide I'm not going to risk it, as it is kind of scary. Like, we're talking about having to deal with mutas first and foremost, and like, oh, it doesn't look like a lot of Marines, a little bit scary, but it's mostly scary because a tiny pack of Lings helping those mutas, that's what makes the Marine counts not high enough when that happens. It's exactly what JonSnow was looking for. Really good control there from Epic to immediately fall back. The tank splash did hurt him, but it didn't kill his Marines. And he got tucked into a nice little choke there in the mineral line to help as well. This went actually so good for Epic. I think he knew that JonSnow could do that a Zerg could do that, and was very mentally prepared for it, even though he wasn't like necessarily physically prepared. And theoretically, he could have had his Marines already in that little crack, but really nicely done. And the tank, if it had been sieged up a little bit faster, also would have helped in more ways, but nicely done. Last second micro there to make a potentially terrible situation into a pretty good one. Now, JonSnow did just sacrifice a couple of Lings, but then I think he also lost a Muta, which it actually hurts, because I think it was just a miscontrol on that one. There was no reward for losing a Muta, and he's about to lose another one. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. I did not think that was going to work out. My bad, my bad. That was really nice. Epic is batting away the mutas like it's no big deal. Like, the missile turrets almost seem unnecessary. He's doing such a good job predicting where they are. And predicting JonSnow's moves. Now, you could overanalyze and compliment Epic all day long, but the real thing is how much is JonSnow macroing behind this. It's all well and good to keep control of the mutas and get 1 or 2 killed, But if they are not even investing that many resources into mutas, if they're just going for like 7 and like saying, "Ah, I got you," like, obviously they matter so much more about how many lings and banelings they got. Upgrades are going to be done for JonSnow for this push. Are the banelings done though? He's not quite in position. Banelings are on the way. Mutas might want to come back home to try and take care of a couple of these tanks or even the Hellbats. This can be a very brutal position. Oh my god, 16 SCVs go down as banelings actually do find their way into the mineral line. There's a little bit of a wall to help out, but that was really brutal. Epic down to 43 workers. He does have a 4th on the way, but oh, that shouldn't be canceled. So 4th on the way, he's replacing the SCVs, but that hurts. That hurt a lot. And he hasn't actually dug into the 3rd hatchery quite yet. JonSnow, 80 workers. If he defends this, he'd be in a very good position. JonSnow setting up a bit of a concave coming in from the back with the mutas. Gets popped off by 2 Widow Mines. It might just take out the tank. Still, he does. Tank on the left side was left alone. And this will be an easy cleanup after that. Now, it's still an okay supply if you can get out of there with a decent number of medevacs. But Epic needs to take a chill pill. I don't know if rallying is the way to go. So many banelings were left over after that fight. Creep spread will have to be replanted, but the right side, the middle of Ice and Chrome, is starting to get a little out of control. Epic slaps down his 4th on location. Starts to mule that up, and it doesn't look like he has to worry about any run-bys anytime soon, but the pressure, I don't know if it's going to be good enough. The Widow Mine soaks up a lot of those banelings. JonSnow needs to be a little careful. Loses a couple more mutas for really no reason. And 2-2 is about to hit. Ooh, Epic's 2-2 is going to really help out. JonSnow has not pushed us all the way back. Not yet. More lings come in trying to pop off those Widow Mines. There's actually not that many. It's just the sheer might of the bio and those Marauders holding up in that little choke here. That's being really obnoxious for JonSnow. 15 more banelings on the way, but I think he has to sacrifice this base. It's going to go down anyways, so why try and fight it? Just let him have it and move over to your 5th. Let's look at 80 drones. You know you killed their economy, something good earlier on as well. He's going to find a couple of the reinforcements. It's a nice thing to do with those mutas for sure. The game will continue on. As JonSnow, he wanted to save that base and just had to make that ultimate decision not to. He still has the 4th hatch over here. He is going to be able to replace this 5th base pretty quickly, and he already has a hive. That was something else I wasn't really talking about. But he managed to fit in a hive amongst that pseudo-defense, even finding a lot of medevacs. That's actually a really nice pick-off. Medevacs are quite expensive. 100, man. This medevac is seen, also sees the run-by, but there's really nothing over here to defend it. In fact, very few SCVs even try to get the repair. So many banelings everywhere anyways. Epic, a bit forced though, a 3-base all-in. He has started to replace his 4th command center, but this does not feel very good for him. He finds the creep spreading queen, but he's now deep onto creep, and JonSnow has to return home and try and hold this. It's a 30 armor supply difference. JonSnow also still down about 20 seconds, 30 more seconds in that +2 upgrade. Can Epic make this work? It'd be quite the finale. Splitting away from the banelings first and foremost. Only 2 Widow Mines to help out. They are going to help against the banelings a little bit, but the Marauders really need to soak this up. Another canceled 4th hatchery, but JonSnow still has this base, although it never actually started mining. Oh my god, there could be so much extra money. It'd be so helpful, and it looks like the injects of JonSnow have also been a little bit lackluster. Marauders soak up money to the banelings, but a couple of them left over. Widow Mines getting the shots off on the mutas as well. This is actually pretty clutch. Epic is replacing his SCVs. He is replacing the 4th command center. Well, he could be replacing his SCVs. I guess he's not. He's getting a 4th command center, but he's going to stay at 44 workers. His army is so low as well. Medevacs have quite the job of single Thor to help out against the still decent count of mutas. I mean, 11's not a lot, but I mean, it'll help. An Ultra is on the way, but chitinous plating is not yet finished, so it would actually be very dangerous to use that Ultra. That would be a big old waste of resources, honestly, if it came in prior to that Carapace upgrade. It is seen by Epic, and that's a sinking gut feeling right there, especially when you run back into banelings with JonSnow's full surround. That's probably going to be it. Epic doesn't want to tap out because you know he has a 4th base being replanted, but that's not a good thing. It's supposed to be mining. It's supposed to be up and running. Going to a 5th base, 6th base, 7th base. The fact that that died is really unfortunate. Thor goes down, Medevacs go down, and now JonSnow is going to be on 5 bases with Ultras and chitinous plating done. The ability to make mutas, or lings, or ultras, whatever he wants to do, as Epic is forced to turtle. Epic is going to have to turtle to like 150 supply, and then he's going to have to take risks to... Oh my god, it killed his own medevac. It's going to be a risk to take a 5th base. But Epic not want to tap out early in games, I guess. This is usually a tap out point, but thinks he can do it. And a couple of Wintermines still not being cleaned up, could find some juicy hits, but he would have to not take any more economic damage. As I said, get up to like 150 supply, and that's when you start to feel a little more confident with Defender's advantage. And rely on Widowmines too, I think, actually getting good shots. Which, I mean, they are a bit of a chance even, aren't they? So relying on them doesn't feel very good. +2 flyer on those mutas really helping to tear down missile turrets. SCV is going to go down after they're finally remade, and just a handful of mutas end up doing some serious damage. 3-3 on the way, with +3 flyer attack for those mutas. Not something you see too often. Burrow is on the way for JonSnow as well. He's starting to spread out that creep spread again, so I don't know if we're going to see burrowed banelings, but it would be awesome. I think this would be more so just for the harassment, you know, burrowing lings in the main and 3rd base. Lots of spotters moving out. JonSnow, he has so much time. You don't have to worry. Epic gets to 150 supply and decides to move out. No. I think you need to get to 150 supply and continue turtling. I kept saying 150 supply because I think that's when you start to feel okay about defending, not okay about attacking. Even maxed out, you don't feel very confident moving out against a Zerg who has had nothing but time. If it's a constant, you know, raging battle like last game, yeah, move outs make sense, but or they feel okay. But in this game, even if Epic was maxed out with 3-3, which he hasn't even started, even then, you'd be like, oh my god, he has so much time. What composition am I up against? How much creep spread is there? JonSnow, he'd have to really kerfuffle a defense against like multi-pronged attacks, I think, to lose this game. That is a large number of banelings that were meant to kill a planetary easy peasy, instead find a lot of army, and that was a big waste of banelings, actually. JonSnow thought he had found his opponent caught off guard, but that wasn't necessarily true. There are burrowed banelings, but they're not in the right place! Oh no, but they will be! Oh, from behind, he unburrows them. They weren't the game decider. Not even the fight decider, but I still give props. Style points to JonSnow right there. Need as well to clean up everything else. Not enough Marines to help out. Banelings, once again, not doing any damage to the economy of Epic. But Epic has taken damage to his army. I think that left side was not a good idea, basically. Yeah, he's gonna tap out. GG. Thank you very much, Airblade Orange, for the 100 bits, by the way. Sorry I missed it. And now we head into a game 3. Whoever wins this moves on to a qualifying match. Whoever loses it has to try another day. But there are 2 other qualifiers. So it's pretty likely that both these guys will make it through. Game 3 is going to be on Death Aura. Ice and Chrome was a pretty comfortable map for JonSnow, I think. It's a comfortable map for macro Zerg. Couple of neat spots for tank pushes, the one that Epic showed us in particular, but otherwise, lots of space, bouncing left and right. Not necessarily the most defendable 4 and 5 base setup. Death Ore is going to maybe look a little bit more like Everdream, which should favor this guy. In the bottom right has the blue Terran. He is Epic for Psystorm. And in the upper left, actually still on Psystorm, it is JonSnow as the Zerg. He's been on Psystorm since, I feel like, the very beginning. The very beginning of Psystorm. JonSnow's been there. Epic seems to be comfortable in the late game versus Zerg. His eagerness to plant down a fourth is something that we see in other Terrans only, like, sparingly, depending on the meta, basically. They will maybe eventually get a fourth, but not super quickly. They'll do a 3 base all-in, 8 racks all-in. Or they'll do mech, which, you know, obviously gets a lot of command centers eventually. But yeah, it does seem like he's playing his personal style, his favorite style, one he thinks he does well with. And I mean, after that first game, you can't say he doesn't do well with it. But what happened last game was that he got caught right before he got going. It's like it said ready, set, go, and he kind of did a false start and was forced back to the start. So losing that 4th base when it was supposed to give him income to not just continue pressuring, but also to jump to a 5th base. And then we saw him really accelerate on the economy on the first game. Like, that seems to be where Epic feels very confident. When he has bodies to throw away. I mean, I'm almost describing like a Zerg player, but, you know, it kind of seems to be what it is. You know, he went back into the good old 2 large, expensive forces on either side that is very risky to do as a Terran player. It works best with Zerg, because all of the units are, you know, the idea is that they're swarm, they're cheap, they're swarmy. There's a lot of them, even if it's not necessarily the scariest army. Works best with them. Terran's okay at it. Terran can split off, you know, 2 medevacs and be okay with that. That can be some serious damage. And Protoss is the worst. You don't split off, you know, 5 Stalkers that often to do something when your main army does something else. But anyways. But Epic, I think his his style that works so well when his economy is up there, like the first game, was probably the worst way to play out a game where he was really far behind. But it's kind of pointless to talk about how their style plays to a game where they're already behind. That's not why you discuss styles, not how you discuss styles. Well, what happens if you're really far behind? Like, does it work then? It's like, it doesn't fucking matter. But that's, it seems to be that Epic might have had a chance in the last game with his multi-pronged aggression, having 3-4 medevacs worth of units on 2 different sides. Wasn't going to work out too well. It's a bit awkward. JonSnow just sends his lings across the map and is going to find an SCV, maybe 2. Yeah, I think he's going to get 2. I think he's got it. I think he's got it. Oh, the save. He got 2, and he brought the Reaper back home. Epic, you know, obviously very hesitant to bring the Reaper back home because he could be all in. And he is choosing a greedy build now. He went for a fast 3rd CC instead of the good old safe starport that we saw in the first 2 games. I like this change-up because JonSnow apparently isn't doing anything cheesy today. And there are ways to, you know, defend if it is a cheese, if you're scouting anyways. But if your Reaper has to come back home, that's when it's a little bit scary. So I would say Epic is probably pretty eager to get across the map again. He doesn't want to get run by more lings, so he kind of checks over to the left first, but he does want to get in the middle of the map and see if there's roaches coming across. If there aren't any roaches, okay, you kind of just like swipe the sweat off your brow. Alliterations are hard. Can you give it like a big old sigh of relief? Because then you worry about the next thing. What is the next thing? I have no idea what the next thing is because my only scouting is a single natural hatchery. In this specific game, JonSnow is going for that faster lair once again. Actually, I think it's not as fast as the last game. Okay, maybe it is. It feels like it's kind of in between the last game and the first game. But anyways, still, obviously, the dive towards Mutas. And the Bailey Nest to keep you nice and safe, nice and cozy. Did you know that Bjorn is back? No, wow, I didn't know that. Thanks, Maynard. Bjorn would have already won. Alright, 3rd CC is done. Epic is getting his buildings up. You do have quite the explosion of production when you do this build. It's almost like driving a fast car, you know? Like, everyone thinks that they're going to be better drivers if they drive fast cars, but people who aren't used to it actually just end up crashing and dying. That got a little grim, didn't it? But people who can actually utilize 3cc and consistently produce SCVs and actually slap down their barracks on time and start their 1-1 on time, they're going to massively gain massive benefit for the faster 3rd CC. Honestly, the best way to describe the difference of a 3rd CC being this fast and having a stall out for the starport, Banshees or Liberator, whatever, the best thing I can say is do it. It feels so much nicer. Just like the difference of going for a high ground versus low ground command center, the best thing to say is just like do it. It feels so much nicer. Yeah, 3rd CC gets put it on location. One of the other key things about getting a 3rd CC build down is actually getting a 3rd CC down on location. With JonSnow, I thought going for faster mutas, but it actually starts up as upgrades instead. With JonSnow not doing anything, aggression, right? His lanes are staying at home, defending. Epic could very freely slap that down and is now doing a pretty well-timed follow-up 2-base push. But ooh, Deathor's AI, it is something else sometimes. Ugh, luckily it doesn't kill Epic, but God, that was a terrible AI split. Oh, truly disgusting. I mean, he almost found a small pack of Lings, so funnily enough, that would have been okay, but... Bah! Only a single tank here. We do usually expect 2 tanks. I'm not sure what happened with that. And we also expect the Zerg player to be a little bit more shy about that, too. So Epic gets pounced upon, and because it was so surprising, his tank did not get as many shots as it was supposed to, and JonSnow says, haha, and then goes back to macroing. Feels cool to be a Zerg player sometimes. Hydrogen was slapped down to my surprise. I really thought he was going to do a faster Spire build. Completely wrong. It's going to be Ling, Baneling, Hydra into some pretty fast, I might even say Lurkers with Infestation Pit coming down. He might be looking to add Infestation Pit, Hive, then Lurker Den when the Hive comes down too. Because then you can start up your upgrades. And Lurkers upgraded are actually no joke, even against Bio. But I'd be surprised by that. I mean, some people are using Lurkers really well, but it's still kind of a rare thing. I'm guessing just Hive for like little Vipers and Ultras. So Epic should have a still pretty good follow-up push with 2-2. It really sucks that first push didn't work out as well as it did. Looks like he just kept the second tank at home. So he wasn't really looking for too much with the first push. I think he has identified that it's Hydras. You saw them, yes? Oh, it's a dive towards a good Spire. Okay. Starts a little bit later, but Broodlords are going to be coming out, and that's definitely surprising to a Terran. Usually so wrapped up in how does the mid game go? Are there mutas? If there's no mutas, are they maxing out on Ling Baneling Hydra? How many bases are they taking? If they get to Hive, you think Ultras first and foremost, right? So Broodlords are kind of last on our list, especially as a Bio player, because Bio, it takes a good game and a decent number of Broodlords to actually feel good against Bio. It's great against tanks and Widow Mines.
Game paused.
Is, you know, the thing, but then it's like, how many times have I seen Marines find Broodlords out of position, kill the Broodlords, or just kill a hatchery because the Broodlords are slow? Enough times, that's for sure.
Resumed.
So I'm curious, interested. Is this going to work out? Is Epic going to know about it? These guys know each other pretty well. Two staples of the North American scene. And JonSnow, of Zergs I could think of who are eager to dive towards Broodlords versus Bio, JonSnow does come to mind. Oh, that scan reveal is only just now morphing Baneling, but there's a lot of Marines. Yeah, get the cancels on those. Easy. That hatchery is also going to go down. Now, JonSnow is not taking any really bad fights, and very few fights in general, so replacing a hatchery is not a big deal at this point. But I think he might even double expand after that, since he has 84 drones. He would like to use all 84 drones effectively. I think he got a double expand in 10 minutes. A Locust was actually used. He did not mean to make a Locust to Swarm Host, but he actually used a Locust from them. Why not? Expands to the left side as there is a creep spread there. He just pushed back the bio. I'd love to see him also expand to the right, though. I think he could do it. Because you just cancel whichever one, or let whatever one that is found, you just let it die. It's not the biggest of deals when you're not taking too many fights. And then if one is found, but not the other, then at least you have one base that's up and running. Banelings caught behind Hydras weren't even in high enough numbers anyways to tackle these Marines. And these Marines, I think because they're in slightly higher numbers than just 2 medevacs, I think they've been like just throwing JonSnow off. He should have cleaned this up, or at least brought in enough units over there to always threaten it from moving in, and instead everything seems to be just barely escaping. One medevac does die despite being abducted twice. Or having 2 abducts. This right side is going to be able to live, apparently. Don't know what it was shooting at. What the hell was that? The hell was that? Was that Queen? I guess. Epic has gone on to 4, now 5 bases. Lots of Marauders. He does know about the Broodlords. 2 more starports are on the way. He maybe saw some Corruptors. Or, as I was saying, he just knows JonSnow and the way he would follow up Wing Damon Hydra. Tucks himself into a corner to take a very effective engagement against these Lings, despite being on equal upgrades, and actually, once again, Epic finding himself behind on the 3-3. Still, yeah, effective enough engagement in the middle of the map. Broodlord's not quite ready to go. It is a hell of a lot of Widow Mines that I am scared are going to hurt Epic more than JonSnow, to be honest. There's the Broodlords. Epic was hoping to find them either not done or just out of position. Realizing that the Widow Mines probably won't help that much. It's going to drag them along. Once again, take that 5th base down. And, uh-oh. Is there enough to defend this? Yeah. I love how Epic is raising those Widow Mines, man. Like, I know they will backfire 100%. Not just because Widow Mines are total assholes, but, you know, like, that's what the Broodlings are supposed to do. It's what they're supposed to do. So, now he finally gets at least a couple of shots with those Widow Mines, not on his own army. Lets them die and continues to retreat and buy time for those Vikings and a couple of Thors on the way as well. Those are not real Marines. Just kidding. Looks like the medevac drop was eventually cleaned up, but it did deny JonSnow's 5th base for a very long time. It helped with that left side army as well. Epic still has the right side drop. No, wait. Oh, it's a new one. It's a new one. Okay, that's actually just a little bit of a run by. It's not a drop. No medevacs included. JonSnow has a handful of units to help out, but good control there from Epic. He might still be able to do something there, but what is he doing back at home? Can he hold on against the Broodlords? Where are those Vikings? 2 of them with 6 more on the way. The Broodlords don't have any upgrades, and they could be pounced upon. Where are the Banelings? A Blinding Cloud actually is pretty effective. That is nice. But I'm still worried. That's not a lot on the ground there from JonSnow. And there's not a lot of Marines, but they are being covered by the Marauders. Going to dive underneath those Broodlords. Is it going to work out? A single Baneling tries to help. The Broodlings messing up the AI as well. But here come the Vikings. I think the Vikings will be in high enough numbers to take this out. There's no Corruptors. There's barely any Hydras in JonSnow. He thought he might have an opportunity. Maybe he felt a little bit desperate because he kept on losing his 5th base. Doesn't actually crack Epic there. Doesn't take down the 4th base. Doesn't take down the 5th. Takes down no production. And now has Epic's entire army to deal with. Epic is about doubling the armor supply of JonSnow as the Zerg desperately tries to get those Banelings back up. But despite the Zerg having a better upgrade lead, it doesn't really matter. The army has been overstimmed. It's injured. The medevacs are almost out of juice, but it does not matter. JonSnow unable to crack the Terran, I think, is going to get pulled back, but oh, he's actually winning this tug of war, at least temporarily. Epic has so much production, though. Oh, the Thor got stuck. Oh, you bastard. I was wondering when that Thor went. He has so much production. He has had 8 barracks freely producing. These ones did not die. He has 3 starports that could either replace medevacs or even make a couple of liberators. Why not? To help out. And he's scanned that right side base when the Broodlords think we're attacking him. So he knows there isn't a cheeky base being taken. Actually, I think he scanned this one. But yeah, the point is, I'm pretty sure he knows it's the only base that JonSnow's really mining from come 15 minutes. The army pulls back, I think, because of the run-by, but also pulls back away from the army. Thor on the high ground ends up helping. Is he going to notice it? No, he's not going to notice it. That's going to be stuck forever. That's a decent chunk of supply to be stuck up there. JonSnow, I thought he was going to get his back cracked. I did. He was down like 50 supply, but he barely holds on and is now down only 30 supply, which Ling Baneling on creep can cover. You generally want to be adding on other things, though. You know, Vipers, where are you? Ultras, where are you? More Broodlords, where are you? JonSnow can't quite afford it. JonSnow is maybe gonna get this base back up. Epic's probably wondering exactly what is the plan here from the Zerg. Scans ahead, sees nothing but Ling Baneling Hydra. Just that we know JonSnow can't afford it, but even though you know they're not mining from a hell of a lot of bases, it feels sometimes in these games that Zerg just, you know, has always had 3,000 in the bank. Tell me that you have never played a game versus Zerg where you were like, no, I know exactly what the Zerg has. I guess I got that wrong. Maybe underestimating the Bands a little bit with that one. Epic's double-pronged attack with half of his army on each side. Again, not proving to be as effective as you would think. He gets pushed back on both sides. Not too great. Actually, very, very bad. When you consider that Epic was up in so much supply, is now down by 30. And is going to get his planetary potentially bopped? What? No. JonSnow is not going to over-dedicate on top of a planetary, but he is going to find maybe a free command center. Okay, he's not going to go for that either. He's going to go to the right side. He missed the drop. He partially cleaned it up, and then they kind of just pass each other in the night. A couple Marauders take down a building very, very fast, and they are clicking on it, so it is going to go down. I'll take that. Thor's finally picked up to be carried over. Finally. But Epic has lost a lot of the momentum he had after killing those Broodlords. And some of it was just, okay, his army was unhealthy, there weren't a lot of medevacs, alright, I get you. And some of it was he added on 3 command centers and kind of took a chill pill. And maybe he could have continued rally pushing. And then even more of it was that he pulled his army, 60 army supply either side, and got beat both sides. Which really sucks. Vipers are now included. Widowmine's going off, and the Thor actually doing a decent job tearing down that Viper. This fight is about as poor as JonSnow could have made it. Awkward time for the right side to come in. If they had been here earlier, I think it would have been a slam dunk for JonSnow, but they were a little late to the party. A Queen is about to get 4, oh my god, 4 medevacs went down when they're supposed to freely get away. Command Center is taken down, at least temporarily. 10 SCVs go down and 7 drones as well. The Marauders once again finding this now 6th base. Want to get the kill, but they aren't going to be able to find it. Ling's a little too good now. Scan to reveal the burrowed Lings. I haven't even seen JonSnow get burrowed, but he's had it for a while. These guys are so damn evenly matched. Burrowed Ling's going to deny and scout the intention of a new planetary, meaning that JonSnow now can lick his lips and be like, ah, yeah, adrenal glands. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's gonna be the ticket there. And he hasn't. He has had 3-3 for a long time, much longer than Epic has had it. And he's had adrenal glands for a while, too, so... Fresh base, not yet a planetary, not yet with SCVs. That's where Ling Run by is really good. Queen goes down, but only after taking down one of the medevacs, so she definitely helped. JonSnow should be concerned about larva problems, but so far so good. He is entirely maxed out. He's looking for the wraparound, but while the wraparound might have been good, there aren't enough Banelings. In fact, where are the Banelings? Lots of Hydra on the south side going to just die for not much in return. Here come the Banelings now, but not that many of them. Vipers once again getting caught by Widow Mines, and more Hydras to the north. Oh my god, there's so many Hydras. I need to zoom out like 3 times to see all those Hydras coming in here. Epic goes deep on a creep, only a couple of Banelings to stop them. Some of them do crash into the Bio Army, and maybe not enough of them, or maybe just enough. The Hydra DPS against the Bio DPS without medevac healing. Okay, the Bio wins out. That was pretty close. And meanwhile, Lings did get on top of that 4th, 5th, I don't even know at this point. They got on top of that planetary, would-be planetary, and denied it. And are going to jump on top of this one as well and actually get the kill. Mule desperately called down to repair, but it's not going to work out. Nice snipe there by JonSnow as they both at one point were maxed out just 30 seconds ago. Both down sub 150 supply. Very similar in the work account, but of course Epic has more orbitals to move around, and he also has mules to call down. But JonSnow relentless with these run-bys. Really wants to get this command, so he's going to get it. 3 adrenal glands. Type! Easy. Not that that was an important base anymore, but an orbital is pretty crucial. We're talking scans, and we're still talking about mules. As Epic wants to refill his bank as fast as possible. No one has been banking in this game. scan reveals maybe the not most intimidating Zerg army. No Vipers, and the Banelings starting to run a little bit thin off creep, but the command center, no, it's not going to go down this time. The Hydras don't stick around long enough to get the kill. Only 12 SCVs die. And this command center, I guess maybe it would turn into another orbital. It's not a terrible idea, because now he's pretty much secured this base, I guess. I don't hate it. Here are the Vipers, a Blinding Cloud, exactly where he knew Epic would run back into. Another Blinding Cloud as well, but once again the Vipers get chewed to bits, and JonSnow, where is your army? And oh, Epic, where are your medevacs? The transfuses on top of the Hydras. JonSnow, you beast! Oh my god, the Queen's coming in with the transfuses on motherfucking Hydras. Who does that? It's about as commonly seen as seeing transfuses on Lings. I tell you what, that was clutch. And those were like the only 3 queens. I actually brought up the units tab and saw 3 queens. That's why I mentioned the injects. And he brought them forward to help transfuse. It is all down to the tug of war around these bases on Death Aura. I mean, I think it's one that Epic ends up winning. But Epic, oh, get some medevacs, man. His gas is a problem. Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh, so clever to use this Hydra on low ground. His gas is such a problem since his new mining bases didn't bother getting gas. It was the old Terran problem. I don't need gas. Oh, fuck, I need gas. But because he doesn't have much gas, he doesn't have many medevacs, he's also building mostly Marines. There's no longer that frontline fodder. The lol, okay, just go ahead and run into my Marauders. No, his army is now very vulnerable, but it is plentiful. Marines are cheap and effective. Widowmine's not going to get the greatest shot. Planetary not quite ready to go, but this is off of creep. How many Banelings are going to be necessary to kill that many Marines? They pulled back. It seems there's going to be more Banelings necessary. Widowmine's trying to burrow, getting some sick shots. Not really. Actually, no. Oh my god, they hit the Marines. Just a little bit of splash damage on top of the very, very weak Marines. End up being killed, actually, in favor of JonSnow. Widowmines, please stop it. But no Overseers available, so the Widowmines are going to get another couple of shots. They're going to try and get some redemption here. Stop killing your own guys, please. JonSnow is continuing to deny other bases to the right side, but I mean, maybe mules could come in. Baneling's going to burrow and at least force to scam, because why not? JonSnow is mining from 2 bases, but this one is severely oversaturated. 61 drones is really not telling the economic story here. Epic knows. Epic's like, oh my god, he might have the right side. I can't let that happen. Abducting twice to take care of a medevac has been so important in this game. The lack of gas has been a huge problem, but if Epic really does control this planetary, and I love that he's repairing it, I'm really glad he's repairing it, he will have 2 rich Vespian gas geysers. I think his medevac saw the Lings run by, and ooh, the Widowmine! Helping so much right there. So he unloaded it instead. Another attack when hopefully Epic isn't looking, but Epic is looking, and the Banelings off of creep aren't that effective. They don't quite kill the planetary either. They might have gotten 15 SCVs, but that planetary, well, it's not being healed, so I guess I'll have to put an asterisk on that. That might actually die as the Banelings roll in a very pumped up Terran army. He splits away from them. The units might be very, very low, but they're still going to take on Hydras, just pure Hydra, pretty damn well. But now, JonSnow with the fungal. He wants the perfect fungal. It's been opportunity. There's a really good fungal on very, very weak units. 1 SCV repairing the planetary might not be able to hold. JonSnow at 112 supply, just 60 supply of Epic, and the planetary goes down. JonSnow, how did you win this game? Epic has not been mining. GG. Oh, JonSnow. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool game. I thought Epic had it after the Broodlords, man. Thank you, Wiser, for the 2-month resub.